Yo, what's good, people? It's Cactus, and we're back again with episode 22 of Cactus Convos now. In today's episode, I've got a very talented producer and content creator with me. He's a man who's built up a huge presence on Instagram and YouTube, and he goes by Ed Talenti. Ed, how you doing, man?
What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm all good, bro. I can't complain. So, man, I know you moved to Amsterdam recently. How's that been?
It's been like 3 months. Dude, I love it here. I never want to leave. It's amazing. I love
Is that the first
city.
time you've been, or did you visit before you moved there?
No, yeah, I came like a couple times. The longest time was like a month. We came for August 2020.
Right.
We stayed for like the whole month, and we just fell in love with the place. We actually had an Airbnb in like a specific spot, and we actually got an apartment like next to it because we were just that's the spot we gotta go. That's
crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever been?
Way. Yeah, I've been twice, but they were like really short stays. I went for a stag do one time, so that was just like a crazy holiday. And then the time before that, I think the same. Each time I've been, it's just been like 2 quick days, so I haven't had a chance to do everything there. But I loved it when I was there, so I definitely want to get back.
Yeah, dude, you should come out there.
Oh, 100%, man. We need to do another one of those. I know we were speaking about it in the group, but we need to do like another Airbnb where all of us get together and cook up. So we definitely want to get you involved in that one. It'll be sick.
I would love to be a part of it. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Nice. So I bet when you told people you're moving to Amsterdam, everyone just assumes that you're moving for one reason. It's just to smoke as much as possible. But
yeah, dude,
I heard you don't even smoke. Is that right?
Not really. I mean, sometimes I guess, but not really.
Yeah,
it's like a very rare occasion. Yeah, but most people, like all the comments are like, we know why you moved. Like,
but it's actually like a real nice place, isn't it? It's not like just about the weed. Obviously, that's a bonus if you smoke, but sure. I'm the same. I don't even smoke anymore, so you know. So when you moved out there, was it just because you wanted a change? Was there nothing happening back home, or what was the main reason?
Yeah, it was mostly that. Like, just we had been living in Italy, me and my wife, for like 5 years at that point, like 4.5 years. We were like, we need a change of pace. Like, Italy is great, but and it's where I was born, but it's like we're in the middle of the countryside. There's like nothing around. There's no people to like interact with or like anything like that. So it's just we need a little bit of a change of pace. Go to a city that's a little more like, inspiring, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit more active.
Yeah. And there's people out here that I can actually like make music with and stuff like that. There's nothing like that back home. It's just like it's me in the middle of nowhere. So it's like
so you couldn't cook up with anyone there. You didn't have any artists that were local.
Not really. I mean, there's no scene, and it's and especially no like hip hop scene. Like it's kind of like a few years behind. A lot like 20 years behind. So it's like now like the popular thing. It's like 70s rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like people play like guitar and stuff like that, and there's like a lot of like AC/DC, like Deep Purple, like stuff like that. But it's like it's kind of like way behind in terms of that. So there's a little bit of hip hop, like there's like Italian hip hop, but where I'm from,
I know there's a drill scene in Italy right now. I've been like I always kind of check on other countries just to see what everyone's up to, and I noticed there's a drill scene in Italy, and
especially the south.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it was, what day were we on? Monday. Yeah, so on Friday, me and LLB, we brought an Italian drill rapper to the studio to make a video. And that turned out sick. I think he's from Milan. But he was crazy. Like, obviously, I don't speak any Italian, but the track came out crazy. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
excited to draw that video.
Yeah, that's going to be dope, dude.
Definitely. So have you managed to link up with anyone in Amsterdam?
Yes, actually. I've mostly just like, I've been in touch with like a couple of guys that are like, we're making melodies with. We actually did a video with one of them. That has like a little bit of a studio. I've been here for 3 months. So I'm like meeting people and then slowly like expanding the circle. But yeah, I don't think there's. I mean, I know there's like music YouTubers, I guess, out here, but not really producers. Like there's like a guitar players and like stuff like that. But I don't know if there's any like producers like in the circle that live here. Either way, though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
The more, like, the longer you're there, you'll just end up meeting a few people along the way. Like, 3 months isn't that long to be somewhere, is it? So you're probably unpacking for the first month, getting everything set up for the next month, and then you're probably only just relaxing.
Yeah. Plus, I spent my entire day in this room, so either way, it's like
What's your schedule like right now? Do you have a set schedule where you get up at a certain time, you do something in between certain times, or is it just all over the place right now?
No, it's like more or less I have a schedule. I don't have anything like, I'm not one of those people who like everything is planned to the minute or anything like that.
Right.
But the majority of my time definitely goes into videos and everything related to that. But like I wake up pretty early usually and just kind of like chill and start preparing for that. And then I spend my morning shooting usually. And then the afternoon is either editing or like working on thumbnails and stuff like that. And then on the so when I post a video, I take like a few days where I do something else, like work on sample packs or work on whatever different kind of project, and then back to it.
Yeah, it's like a constant cycle, isn't it? There's always something to do.
I know.
I don't know about you, but it's rare that I get time to just like make beats now. Even though we're producers, I feel like we spend way more time on the content side rather than the actual beat side.
Yeah, same here, absolutely. But I kind of like that because ultimately, I mean, I decided, I don't know where you're at with that, but for me, like halfway through last year when like YouTube really started picking up, I kind of like stepped back from the whole like selling beats, which was kind of like my main job for like a year before that, a year and a half. And I kind of stepped back. I haven't posted a beat on like my store in like over a year. I just realized I didn't enjoy it that much.
Right.
The whole like leasing game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, for me, it's a bit like I'm still selling beats. I still upload to my beat store. It's not like a crazy amount. I'm doing one every 2 days, which I feel like is more than enough, really. Like once we're doing videos and everything on top of it. And I'm still trying to grow that side. Like I'm pushing email marketing and do things to grow that side. But then sometimes I do step back and think, you know what, like that side of the business is so small compared to the other side of the business with YouTube, with drum kits and everything. So sometimes I think, you know what, why don't I just put all my energy into like the YouTube side and just see that like blow up, you know? So I don't know, it's a tricky one. I guess you were probably going through that at one point, right? And then you thought, you know what, this is going faster than the other side. Was 100%. That the reason you dropped it?
Yeah, and the main reason why I dropped it is because the other one picked up, like you said. But then I really started thinking about it and I was like, do I still want to invest my time in that? And I realized that the thing that I like about YouTube is the freedom to do whatever I want. Like, I don't, I'm not like tied to like, I need to make this type of beat because it's kind of trendy. Like, I don't need to worry about any of that. I can just focus on like whatever music I want to make. And then usually, in fact, like at night, outside of the videos, that's the time where I actually just make music for myself. And so it just kind of gave me like a broader, because on YouTube, you can kind of do whatever you want, like especially when you have a little bit of an audience. Like if one day I just want to make like a rock song, I can do it and people will watch it, they would enjoy it. But when you're like selling beats and you're in that game, it's like, you can't really do that. Like you kind of have to respect certain rules or you have your niche and people are expecting that. You kind of have to stick to that. It's just a little more limiting in my opinion. And I just kind of wanted to step out of that.
Yeah, I guess you're targeting a specific audience with beats, aren't you? Like whether it's drill beats or like a certain type of trap beats. I've definitely found that, and sometimes it gets a little bit draining because, like, for example, one day you might wake up and you might want to make some heavy metal.
Right, exactly.
It could be random, but you could never do that on a page where you're uploading drill constantly. So sometimes I'm like, right, I need to cook up today, but I also need to upload to this channel, so it has to be a drill beat, even though I might not feel like making a drill beat. So, yeah, 100%, I do understand that. Did you have, like, a certain plan when you were selling beats? Were you sticking to, like, one niche area? Was it one like certain genre or
I
just trying a few things?
No, I was sticking to one genre, but I wasn't really doing it on purpose. It's just and that's why I quit that part, because I enjoy, like, I get into like phases where I make kind of like the same beat, like because I'm really in that mood. And that just happened to line up. Like at that time it was like a lot of like flutes and like bouncy, like the baby sort of beats, and that's genuinely what I wanted to make. And so it just happened to line up with also what was popular and was selling. But then as I started like growing out of that and then moving into something else, I'm like, well, then does it really line up with, rap? I don't even make really beats for rappers, I would say. Like, I don't even think about that anymore, really.
You're just kind of making whatever comes to you.
Kind of. Yeah, I don't really think about the whole rapper dynamic thing. I just make music. Or try to really. Yeah, that's
it's good to be able to have that freedom, though. Definitely. Would you say that's always been the case on your YouTube channel? Not like the beat side, but for doing tutorials and everything. Were you always just doing whatever you felt, or did you start with doing like one particular thing to build up a bit of an audience and then expand?
Not really. I mean, I always tried to do what I actually wanted to do because that's the whole point. Like to me, at least, of this profession of like, it's so hard to get to the point to like where we are at, where you can do this full time. And it's like the thing that makes it worth it is that I can do whatever I want. If I don't have that freedom, then I might as well get in a different job, it's like, and just do this for fun.
So.
Like the whole point is that I just want to do whatever I want. I want to wake up in the morning and just be free to do whatever. And so, yeah, I always try to do what I actually want to do. Sometimes there's like certain videos that it's like, you just do them because it's a good video to make. But in general, I just try to make whatever. Yeah.
Nice. I know. How about like new people that want to start? Because I hear like a mix of things from a lot of people. Like I myself personally, I grew my channel based on sticking to one niche area. I wanted to be like, I actually make like in drill. Like I don't obviously hate making drill, even though I do it all the time. But yeah, I wanted to be like the guy that everyone comes to for drill tutorials. And I thought, I want to fill in that gap first and then try and expand and do other things. And a lot of people say that. A lot of people say you should kind of start off by sticking to one area and then expand once you've got a bit of an audience. So for new producers that are thinking about starting like a tutorial channel and, getting the face out there, I guess there's a few ways of doing it, but would you personally recommend just doing anything, just whatever you feel like doing? Or do you think it's smart to do it the other way and find like a bit of a niche,
I think they're both really good. The niche thing, it's really smart, especially if you catch on to that niche like early, and then as the genre blows up, you blow up with it.
Right.
That's great. Like if you can nail that, then it's awesome. It could, at least in my opinion, it can tend to like box you at some point because there are people they just want to see that, and maybe you're like, well, okay, sure, but I can also do this. Yeah, they don't really care. But honestly, I wouldn't worry about that. Like if someone was starting, and even for me, like when I was starting, my goal was just like, let's grow this. Like I'm not going to focus on like if I'm boxed or not boxed. Like I'm just going to do whatever. But also there needs to be an element, I think, of like yourself and your personality, because ultimately there's like, there are a million tutorials on YouTube on like how to do better 808s or whatever. But the only thing that you have that nobody else has is you. So the more you can inject into that, the better it is, because then, they come for the tutorial, but then at some point they also come because they just enjoy spending 10 minutes with you or whatever.
Definitely.
And then at that point you can really do whatever, because then people just really enjoy spending time with you, no matter what you do. They don't just come for the value and then they disappear, but they actually want to spend time with you, almost like a friend, like a weekly 100%. Hangout.
Definitely, yeah. It's like they get to hang out at your house, but not say anything. Like they don't even have to talk. They're just there with you, just cooking up.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
One thing that I've noticed in your videos is obviously your personality, and in every video you're so happy, you're so enthusiastic. So have you always been like that? It's obviously not something that you put on for the camera, because you seem like you're naturally just a happy guy. So has it always been like that? Like growing up, have you always just been this happy kid?
I would say so. I mean, I had my phases like everybody else of like, like struggle, I guess, but I never really had that much struggle in my life, but just my own struggle. But in terms of like my job, I don't know if you know like my story at all, but like when I was 18, I just picked up from Italy and went to LA to study drums. And from that point on, like after high school, from that point on, I just really tried to stay true to like what I actually wanted to do and just follow that. And I was always sort of able to do it so far. And so that just makes me happy, because every morning I wake up, and I've been doing that for 10 years now, pretty much doing exactly what I wanted to do. At first it was studying drums, then it was playing drums for a living, and then this whole production phase. So it's like, I'm happy just because I get to do what I enjoy. Like I just feel really lucky because I was able to like do this and actually like execute on this plan. Could have gone really wrong
at the age of 18 as well, because that's not even, that's really young, and a lot of people at that age are still like studying. They might go to university, then wind up in a job that they don't really like, and that's what makes them unhappy. Once you're doing something full time that you hate, that's like probably the biggest reason why people are unhappy, in my 100%. Opinion anyway. So it's good that you're able to do that from such a young age.
That was actually my goal, like aside from music, which I really wanted to do, but my goal was like, I really want to do something that I enjoy. And I want to try to spend as little time as possible doing things that I don't enjoy.
There are some people telling you that you're making a mistake though, because I can imagine a lot of 18-year-olds that are trying to do something with music. They've got parents or friends, teachers, whatever it is, telling them that that's not a real career. You need to go into an office if you want to have a job.
Mostly my peers, absolutely, like friends. friends would absolutely be like, why the hell are you just dropping everything here and going to the other side of the world to hit some drums? Like, can't you just do that here and just, chill? But my parents have been super supportive since day one. I mean, my dad's a musician too. And in a way, I think that if he could, because he's like obviously from a different era, so he couldn't really do anything like that. But in his head, he's like, if I was 18 now, I would totally want to do what he's trying to do. So let me support him and like, push him in that direction because, I can see that it makes him happy and he can feel that same passion. So it's like, I wish I could do it. That's my dad's perspective. Definitely. And so they've always been super supportive with that. Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense then if your dad's a musician, because for a lot of people, they might not have parents that have anything to do with music and they just don't understand it at all. But if your dad's a musician, he'll know exactly what you were going through at that point, because he probably would have been going through the same thing at that age as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And obviously they were scared of like, are you going to be able to work? Are you going to get a job or like stuff like that? But then it's like, really, what does that even mean? Like, people have the steady jobs and then the company just goes to shit and a week later they don't. So it's like, is that really that much more secure? It's like, not really,
Yeah.
Just do what you want.
With lockdown and COVID, didn't we?
Exactly.
I think a lot of people lost their jobs then, but then the people that were thriving were probably people like us who were on YouTube.
100%.
Because everyone was at home watching videos.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like, is it even more secure to get a job in a bank? I don't even know.
Yeah. No, you're right. So, man, it seems like it's been a crazy journey for you, and it's been. I want to say it's been pretty quick, but you've obviously been doing it like all your life, so it hasn't been that fast. I think from people watching on the other side of the screen, they think it's quick because they just see the channel like spike up, but they don't really understand everything that's gone into it before that. So, How old were you when you actually started making music?
Producing beats, I was 25, so it was like 4 years ago. Yeah, okay. I started super late, but playing drums, which was what I did for most of my life. I was like 12, something like that. 11, 12. Okay. And then I took it really seriously when I was like 14, to the point where like I almost wanted to quit high school and just like, fuck everything, I'm just going to go play drums. But my parents convinced me to finish high school at least. And then I was just obsessed with being a drummer. I wanted to be in a band, and I did that for a while. I was lucky enough to get to do that, like the tours and stuff like that. And then I decided, you know what, it's a lot. It's a really stressful lifestyle. I enjoyed it. I got to like try it out. I want to try something different. And so I really started diving into the production side and like being in my room, like chilling and not touring all the time.
Would you say, was it the traveling of being a drummer and just, not being in one place? Was that the main thing that was kind of putting you off it? Yeah,
especially like, because unless you do it at a super high level, like if you play drums for Kendrick Lamar, then it's like, they fly you everywhere. You get hotels, you have a drum tech that builds shit for you. You just show up and play your show, and it's actually like pretty awesome. But when you tour with like alternative bands, like independent like rock bands and stuff like that, it's 5 dudes in a van for a month. We're just driving 8 hours a day, getting to the place. You have to unload the entire you unload the entire truck, set it all up, play your show, reload the entire truck. It's like, it's so brutal. You don't get to shower. You shower like that one time that you find a gas station and you decide to shower.
Oh, shit, really?
It's like, it's 5 dudes in a van just all day long for a month. So it's fun. It's a blast with the right people. Yeah. But as I was getting older, I was like, do I really want to do this? Like, I don't know. It's a lot.
You just want a shower. That's all you want.
Yeah, just want a shower, dude.
I guess as well, like being a drummer, especially if you're part of a band, it's like, you're kind of the guy, you're just another guy in the background. Even though it's like one of the main elements, it's like, obviously the lead singer probably gets the most attention, right? And then everyone else playing the instrument, like nobody really knows their name, even though they love the music. So unless you're someone like Travis Barker or, someone that's just blown up from it, then I guess it's kind of hard to like make a real name for yourself by being a drummer.
Yeah, I mean, you make a name for yourself in the circle, I guess, of like musicians and drummers. But as far as like bigger stuff, definitely not. And you're the one that has the most setup to do, because fucking building the drums every night and tearing them down, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that sounds like effort.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So who introduced you to Ableton? Like, when did you make your first beat? Well, you said it was like 4 years ago, right? But how did you even find Ableton? Were you just watching videos online?
Pretty much. I mean, I started with Logic, because that's what I was using.
Right.
Because I had a little phase where I was actually composing for like TV and stuff. I had a job doing that when I was still in LA. And so that's where I started getting my first glimpse into like the production of music, like what it felt to like have a DAW, virtual instruments, stuff like that, even though it wasn't hip hop at all. And so I started with Logic, and then a friend of mine, when I had moved back to Italy, was like, dude, you got to try out Ableton. It's awesome. I just got it, blah, blah, blah. And so I tried it, and I loved it. I liked the workflow a lot. And I was like, I think this is it for now.
Did you try any other DAWs, like FL, or was it just straight to Ableton?
Not enough to understand. Like I opened up FL one time, like I have friends, and they tried messing around with it, but I never really got into it. I don't even know really like the workflow. I don't know where the buttons are or anything like that. And Logic has been so long that I forgot where everything is. So basically only Ableton right now. And Serato a little bit. Because I've done a few videos.
I did my first video for Serato.
I know.
At first it was driving me crazy because I couldn't figure out anything. It looked a bit smooth in the video, but yeah, at one point it was driving me crazy. I think it was the 808s because I was dragging in the 808 and it was treating it like a sample. So it was chopping it up and like auto-tuning it. I was like, how do I get this to just play C when I hit C?
Yeah, that took me a while too. And then if you want to try to do like glides, you have to figure that all out, like that whole process out too. Yeah.
It was interesting though, because it got me feeling like a new producer again, because for so long I've just used FL. I've only used FL, never really tried anything else. And I've just been like so comfortable with it. But as soon as you open up something else, you're like, man, this is what it feels like to be a new producer all over again.
That's the fun part though, because you really like, it throws you off and you have to like come up with new solutions to the problems, and then you end up coming up with cool stuff.
Definitely. Have you ever done a video where you've used FL and tried using that?
Not yet. I mean, it's probably the most requested video of all, but I haven't done it yet. I need to buy FL just to make that one video, and I haven't convinced myself yet, I guess.
It'd be a good one. There's always a constant battle, isn't there, about like FL versus Ableton or versus any DAW. Everyone's always comparing it like, no, this is the better one. Like they all do the same shit, really. I don't think any create a different sound.
Nah.
I think Decap actually put out a video one time. It could be Decap. I could be getting that wrong, but he made a video like comparing them. Like he was bringing stuff into FL, bringing it into Ableton, all the same settings, bouncing it, and there was just no difference.
Exactly the same. Dude. I think so too. That it's the same. It just the buttons are in a different place, but other than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So man, in terms of YouTube, I think when I looked on your channel, the first video was like 5 years ago. Am I right in saying that? It was a bit of a drummer vlog?
Oh, that. Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's from like a different lifetime. Yeah. That's, definitely.
So
like
I think that was the very first one. But then I didn't know if you'd like deleted more since then, like if you were uploading consistently then, or if that was just like, oh no, it was just that one.
Yeah, it was just that one. I mean, I actually opened the channel in 2009, I think, to post like drum videos and stuff. And between 2009 and when I actually started YouTube, which was like 2019, something like that, I must have posted like 7 videos in that entire time. Yeah, it was just like super sparse. So what
made you actually start YouTube then? Because I think the first time I came across you was on Instagram. I don't know if you were posting these videos before YouTube, but on Instagram you built up quite a big audience doing like, it was kind of like those beat videos, right? Where you're playing like the drum pads along to the beat.
Right. I started with Instagram actually before YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And that was like early 2018. Yeah.
Right.
That's when I started on Instagram from like zero. And that's when I started developing like the first like brand thing, which was what you just said. Like where I went, like I was like outdoors in the garden and like outside, and I was playing the drum pads. And that kind of became my thing. Like I was one of the first people. There were a few others, but that really made its brand to be outside, as stupid as that is. And that kind of became my thing.
That's probably one of the benefits of being in Italy where you were, being in a remote place, because if you were in an apartment in a busy city, you couldn't just go outside and do that. So that probably made you stand out.
Yeah, 100%. That made it a little bit different. Even though the beats sucked first, especially. But yeah, that's how I grew the first little bit. And then at some point I was like, because I've always wanted to do YouTube, like not even just music, just in general. I like the idea of being a YouTuber. I've always wanted that. And so I was like, there's a few people that enjoy what I do. Why don't I try to take it over there and see what I can do on YouTube? And also I started talking to like Simon Servida. I started talking, which was also just starting out. I started talking to El Dre. like other people through Instagram, I was talking to them and I was like,
Yeah.
it sounds like YouTube, there's like a lot of opportunities and like even for like eventually like sponsored videos and just to really grow a business. And I was like, why not? Let's try it out.
Yeah. And then you had, so when you started YouTube, obviously you already had some videos from the past, but then I think the first like maybe like 10 that you uploaded, it looked like they were more like how-to videos. Like the titles were pretty like, you know, it was like how to upload to BeatStars or how to sell beats, something like that.
Right.
And then it quickly kind of changed into, I want to say more like clickbaity titles where it was like, I made the hardest track beat, you know?
Right.
What made you switch that up?
Well, it's, I started, like you said, with like all the how-tos and stuff like that, because I was really, I was experimenting with different things. Yeah. I was just starting out. And then we did a video with Simon, actually, and Chris Poncelan and Sicky Beats, where it was like the 4-producer, 1 sample. I had just started YouTube, so that really helped me, like, put me on the map, like, quickly.
Right.
And I did that, and I was like, hold on, like, this video is doing so well because this is YouTube, right? Yeah. So I need to approach this as a YouTuber, not as a producer making tutorials. Right. Like, the tutorials need to be disguised as YouTube videos. I mean, they are YouTube videos. Of course. And so I really started, like, studying and analyzing, like, YouTubers rather than producers. Yeah. And getting ideas from that and being like, you know, if I want to play the YouTube game, I got to play the YouTube game, not something else.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was kind of like the thought process for that.
That makes sense. And were you looking at any, like, were you doing any keyword research using tools like vidIQ and TubeBuddy, or was it just going back to just doing what you felt like doing at the time?
No, I was definitely using keyword like research and stuff, especially for tutorials. But when you start making videos that are called like, you know, the best beat ever, or I made the craziest beat, those are awful for keyword research. There's no keyword. Yeah, it's just like, exactly. So at some point I just started focusing on, and I'm still doing it now, like more and more. That's kind of like where I'm really trying to go into like the storyline of the video and like a good video idea, rather than just like me making a beat, which ultimately it's like, sure, some people care, but it's like nobody really cares about me just making a beat. And I started really thinking about like, how can I turn the process of me making a beat into like a story, into something that I can, that has like purpose beyond just the beat. And so that's always been like the thought process from that point on. I just kept developing on that and hopefully getting better at it over time, getting closer to it. But,
of course.
But yeah, so not really a lot of keyword research. I mean, at first, but then I kind of sort of stopped with that. I still have vidIQ. Just when I'm trying to title a video, I look up different title ideas and see which one could work better. But I don't even know if it matters that much. I mean, it matters if I guess for some kind of videos, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a bit like unsure. I think when I first started the channel, I was obsessed with keyword research. I thought it was just all about keywords, so I was just doing it non-stop. But then after a while, I was like, I think I just found that watch time is just more important than anything. Like if people go on the video, they like what they see, they stay on the video, then they click on another video, like surely that's got to be the most important thing. I think maybe years ago, keywords were like huge, and like if you were ranking, you'd always show up first. But now I think on YouTube, search results are different for each person anyway, because they recommend what you're used to seeing. So if I type in a keyword, I think my results are going to be different to what you'd see if you typed in that same keyword, because they recommend stuff that you kind of watch, don't they? So I don't even think it shows up as the same stuff for everyone.
It doesn't, but unless you end up like really dominating that one keyword, that kind of shows up for everybody. Like if you type in, you know, drill beat tutorial, I'm sure you come up, like no matter who types it in. But
I've tested it a few times. I think I've got one video where it's like the ultimate drill tutorial. I think that one usually pops up.
Right. And that, I mean, honestly, because I'm bashing on keywords, but like my 2 or 3 biggest videos are definitely keywords, because if you type, or I don't know if it's still like that, but for a long time, if you typed best free plugins or best free sample pack, both of those would just be me at the top. And so those videos got a lot of views, and those are some pretty big keywords. So I'm bashing on keywords, but I mean, I guess I guess they can be helpful in growing.
Yeah, sure. I suppose they're good for just being on YouTube for a long time, because obviously YouTube's a search engine itself, isn't it? So when you do those kind of videos, it's like it might not grow straight away, but then after like 2 years, because people are just constantly searching that keyword, that's when you start to see the numbers pick up. Whereas maybe the clickbait ones, they might just like they just like blow up maybe a bit faster than the others. Maybe the others are slow burners. I think that's what I found anyway.
100%. No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I heard you mention, well, when we were speaking earlier, you just said that you used to do like commercials, like scoring for commercials. And then you did a video recently, right, where you scored for a different commercial. Right. I watched that. Did that end up getting placed? Like, did they end up using that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Did they give you any feedback?
Not really. I mean, they don't really do that.
Yeah.
Because it's usually like the way it works is that they hire a bunch of producers to do demos, right, and they still pay you for that.
Oh, they still pay you for the demo?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't even pay it like that bad. Like maybe they gave you like, it depends on the brand, but maybe they give you, it could be even like a few $100.
Yeah.
For the demo. And then they hire like maybe like, let's say 10 producers to do 10 demos. And then they pick one which actually gets the job, and that's the one that gets, a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
And then the other ones just do the demo and anything. But if you want to really do it like full time, the key is to just to get as many demos as possible, like to get in touch with all the different companies and have all the connections to like in that circle, so that you're able to, if you're able to like 3 demos a day, I mean, you're going to make a killing, even just doing demos if you don't place anything. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's kind of the whole game. But that was actually my first commercial, because I used to do like TV shows. I actually never did a commercial.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got to make a good YouTube video out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably the main thing for you.
Yeah, that was kind of, I cared more about that than actually the commercial, for sure.
So is it not something that you want to go into further? I guess it's just another area where it's like, where you'd have to spend more time when your main focus is YouTube.
Yeah, and also it's the whole leasing beats again. It's like I have to do something that I don't really like. It's not like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I can't wait to score a car commercial. So it's like, it's fun, but it's not exactly that. But for example, if I got in touch with, I don't know, if I got in touch with like a filmmaker and he was making a movie and he asked me to make the music, that I would love to do, because it's a project where I'm actually like hands-on. The same with like the beats, like the only play that was another thing, but like one of the reasons why I stopped like following like even placements, because the few that I got were like, I had nothing to do with the song. Like I just sent out the beat and then the song just popped out and I was like, okay, I feel like I didn't have any, I felt like it wasn't even mine. I mean, it wasn't. I just made a random beat and then it just ended up getting picked by someone. So it's like, I don't really enjoy that. I like, being a part of the process or being in the studio with the artist.
More hands-on and like actually create the song rather than just sending a beat out and then having someone use it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like sync placements though, I feel like that could be good for some people, because when people get into production, they think that the only way to make money is by selling beats. And every question you get asked is, bro, how do I sell beats? Or how do I market my beats? And it's like, that's not the only way you can make money as a producer.
No, there are so many. I mean, in fact, like whenever I get that question, my advice is always flip it backwards. Like think about what you want to do, like what you really want to do, and then try to figure out a way to monetize that, rather than like trying to do an activity that you think is going to make you money. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. Because, I mean, there's so many ways, like, for you, like, personally, what ways have you found to make an income other than from selling beats? Obviously, there's YouTube and selling drum kits. Have you tapped into anything else?
There's courses. I haven't done a course yet, but there's definitely courses. But those are kind of all connected to, like, having an audience. Then there's the whole world, which is a whole different world of movies, TV shows, just sync stuff, commercials, stuff like that. Then there's ghost producing. It's another way to make a lot of money for people that are able to get into it, or just sample like loop making for other producers. So it's kind of like ghost producing. Then there's like more hands-on stuff, like giving lessons to people, like which I used to do for the longest time. There's even like, I mean, I used to even do like DJ stuff, like at weddings and stuff like that to make money. Yeah. Like I tried every single avenue to like make money. Cause when you want to do it full time, like, especially a few years ago when I didn't have an audience or anything, I had to kind of like, get a little bit here, get a little bit there, like try everything out.
It's like biggest cut to choosers at that point. When you really need the money, it's like you're willing to do anything. It's like whatever it is that's related to music, I'll do it.
Exactly. And I don't even think it's a bad thing, because anything that you do, even the stupidest thing, you end up learning something or just doing a new experience. And then you're like, okay, I got something from that. Like pretty much with everything. So
no, definitely. I could say the same for like engineering, because when I was first trying to sell beats, I'd put together a package and say, I think it was something ridiculous. It was like every beat that I sell, I'd mix like the whole thing for you as well. So I was like mixing people's beats and selling beats for like nothing. But at the same time, I was learning how to engineer. So then, I was watching tutorials. I was like, I need to get sick at engineering because then people keep coming back to me. But now, even though I don't offer engineering services, really, like whenever I'm in a studio with an artist, or if I have someone that I want to make a track with, I know how to just get those vocals sounding clean now. And it's such like it's a good skill to have, especially if you're in a studio, because if you don't have a clue how to record someone and it's just you and the rapper, like what do you do? You don't know what's going on, do you? So
exactly. Plus, if you can get them to sound good, like if they hear themselves back and they're like, "Oh shit, I sound so great," they immediately love you, because that's you want to make it sound good.
I'm fucking with this guy because
he makes me sound
good every time.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So in terms of like social media, like obviously right now you're still posting on Instagram a bit and obviously YouTube. Are you focusing on any others like TikTok? I know you've got a Discord going.
The Discord, I focus a lot of energy into that, as much as I can, at least, just because that's kind of like the hub for like the gang, for like the fans.
Yeah.
And we get to hang out and do like events and stuff like that. As far as like TikTok or any other sort of social media, I haven't really invested that much time into it, because I just realized that I don't use TikTok. Yeah. And so because I don't use it, I also don't really understand some of the dynamics. Right. And so it's just like, I don't want to invest time in a platform that I don't even use, right? It's like, it just seems counterintuitive. And then I just, if I'm honest with myself, what do I do when I have some free time? I open up YouTube and watch YouTube. I don't open up TikTok. And so I resonate with YouTube. I understand YouTube. I enjoy YouTube as a consumer too. And so that's like really what I'm focusing on. Plus, on the side, I do think that because of the nature of YouTube and how it's structured and how it works, unlike all the other social medias, I think it's going to be around for a very long time. While the other ones are kind of like rotating around, and this one disappears and a new one comes in. I feel like YouTube is sort of like the counterpart of Netflix. In fact, in some ways, I think they have more potential to last than Netflix itself, because they have endless free content. Like they don't have to pay money to make shows. They just come to them.
No, 100%.
So YouTube is not going anywhere for a long time. The other ones, they could go, they could stay, but they're going to have their own like social media cycle, just like Facebook did, just like MySpace did, just like Instagram is kind of having right now. So it's like,
No, I think you're right. I think YouTube seems to be the most secure one, because YouTube's just been around for so long already. And we've seen a lot of other platforms like come and go. Obviously, Facebook being one of the main ones, even though it's still huge. It's like, who really uses Facebook now? It's mostly our like parents that are using Facebook.
Exactly. That's the
like
demographic.
Facebook groups in the local area.
Right.
But YouTube's just always been there. And because it's a search engine, the videos just last a long time on there. But when you post something on Instagram, it's like you've got that one moment to impress people and do something, but then that video just gets lost. And like no one's ever going to find it again. So I think that's why I loved YouTube, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I find that some of my old videos just out of nowhere just start getting views, and then I like, this video has just got like X amount of views in the space of a month, but when I first uploaded it, it was doing shit. It wasn't really getting anything. So it's crazy to see.
Yeah, 100%, dude, 100%. And even like with Instagram, like you're totally right. And it changed a lot. Like when I started in 2018, it was so easy to get an audience if you were making some like cool stuff. And you were just using the hashtags and all that. It was actually fairly easy to get views. Like I used to get more views when I had like 2,000 followers than now on Instagram. Really? Yeah, because the videos just got pushed to a bunch of people. And so, I had videos with like 50,000 views like in the first 24 hours. Yeah, it was crazy. And then it just stopped because, they changed up their whole system. And now it's like the only way to really like get new followers, it's maybe Reels, because they're still pushing that. But like everything else is just like a percentage of your audience is going to see it, but no new people. It's like super hard to like actually get it to go anywhere. It's not a great platform.
It's one of the worst platforms to actually target your own audience. Like I don't know what percentage of your own audience you reach, but it's very small.
Yeah, it is.
Even stuff like I've noticed recently, I know they've got rid of swipe ups now for most people, but Well, I found whenever I was doing swipe up stories, my views on my stories would just drop like so much. And then if I was doing normal stories, like a couple of days later, they'd be back up. And like they give you these tools and like give you these incentives to like hit 10K on Instagram. As soon as you use them, they're just like, no, we don't want anyone clicking off Instagram, so we're going to punish you for it and just not let anyone even see that story. Like it just makes no sense.
I hadn't even noticed that. I never paid attention to that. That's cool.
Yeah, maybe it was just me. I saw Pro by Jack. You posted something about it, and I was like, "Damn, it's not just me. It's happening to other people as well." So it's strange.
That's interesting.
Sometimes I think all they want to do is just get people to buy ads, so they start limiting your views and limiting your reach. But then, if you spend some money, then you can reach the rest of your audience. It's like, well, you have to pay just to reach your own audience. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's how Facebook is. So it's the same company, so they're probably doing the same thing.
Definitely. Have you ever run ads for YouTube, Instagram?
Not for YouTube and not for Instagram either. I ran ads for a little while. I tried the whole funnel thing, selling lead packages. Actually went great. Like I was so surprised. And
was that like the Midi Money course that you did?
Yeah.
Or was that just setting up your own thing?
Gabe actually hit me up because this was like, was it beginning of 2020? Yeah, beginning of 2020.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he hit me up and he was like, here's the course, like if you want to check it out or if you want to do some like content about it or whatever. Nice. And he sent it to me. And then at first I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what this is. And I actually opened it. I got into it and I started like going through the whole thing. And I was like, I don't know, let me try this out. This was early 2020. So the YouTube was growing, but it wasn't kind of where it is now. So I was like, could be another fun source of revenue. And I tried it and it actually went great. But that's the time where I really dived into the ads and I really used them. And then I used them a little bit for like the sample pack, but I didn't really do it that much. Mostly it was for the funnel.
Okay. If it was going great, why did you stop? Or was it just because you would kind of like take your foot off the like production, selling gas? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just go over to the YouTube side. Was that why?
It was. That's exactly why. Like I started like slowing down, and then I realized that if I wanted to keep that up, I had to first of all pour more money into it because that's the whole game. Yeah. It's like you pour a ton of money into ads, and as long as the return is a little bit bigger, you make the little bit of slice of profit. And I was like, it's just a game that like I'm not really feeling it. And also, you have to keep putting out like new packs of beats, which means making lots of beats. Yeah, which is something that I don't really do anymore.
Because they were quite big packs as well, weren't they? It was like giving 5 away, but then offering like huge packs.
Yeah, you want to do like huge packs for a stupid low price, and then just put like the just push it out to as many people as possible, and just make money on the quantity rather than just selling one for a lot of money. You just sell the same 40 beats to like as many people as you can for $10, and then it piles up and you make some money. But yeah, at some point it just wasn't worth it because like I had to invest time into it, and the return was pretty good. But I started making decent money through everything that I was doing aside from that. So I was like, I don't know, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But do you have any other ways of like marketing the stuff that you do now? Like, would you say like drum kits and like sample kits are your like biggest sellers at the moment?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have ways that you market them, or is it just they come through the YouTube channel more than anything?
It's mostly just that, just using them in the YouTube channel, and they're always linked in the description. And I use them often in the actual like. I never really talk about it except for when I actually like released it, when I release a new pack. But in general, I just use them and they just appear, and they just kind of do it by themselves. So I don't have to really do much about that, which is nice. But
well, I guess it's just a natural way of promoting them. Like you make sounds that you want to use in your own productions. People like the beats that you're making with those productions, so then they want to buy it. Because it's like if your beats are coming out fire, then I'll have the right tools to make a fire beat if I get that kit. So it makes sense. Yeah,
and I always put the little card when I'm like doing drums or 808. I'm always put the little YouTube card that says, "Get this exact 808." For example, get this exact 808. You click in, it takes you to the kit. So it's like I try to like tie it in as much as I can. Right. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really do any other marketing, to be honest.
Yeah,
probably should.
How about I guess it's like YouTube like does wonders, but you could probably like, because I don't do loads of different marketing. I do email marketing, and I might get into ads soon. I'm doing a course right now for ads. But I mean, YouTube seems to do the trick more than anything. But yeah, if like sales are good with kits just through YouTube, it just makes you wonder like what else you could do if you kind of went in with other forms of marketing like SMS marketing and Facebook ads on kits. So it'll be interesting to see. Do you use email marketing right now? Like, do you keep in touch with everyone through emails?
Every now and then. I have a bunch of emails because every time I did like a free pack or like a free thing, I just collected a ton of emails. But I don't really use it to the max. But sometimes I send out emails so I kind of check in, or like to send like a mini little tutorial in the form of an email or something like that. Or obviously when I release a new pack or anything like that, I blast out like a couple emails. But I could definitely do better with that. It's just like I got to a point where I'm so focused on like just the growth. And I the first like year and a half of doing this whole thing, I was really focused on like the marketing, like all the stuff, and really like trying to do that. But then I don't know. I just kind of, even if I make a little less money, it's fine. It's enough to be where I want to be. So it's like, I'd rather focus my time on like other stuff and really invest into like making better videos, putting more time into the editing, which takes forever. And I do quite a few sponsored videos too, with different companies that I actually enjoy, and I develop a relationship. Like I feel like that's more valuable rather than just selling the kits. And I just let the kits go by themselves, as much as they can. So marketing would be nice.
That makes sense though, because there's been times where I've, like say for example, because I use email marketing, and there's been days where I'm setting everything up in the back end, like all the sequences and stuff. And I'm like, I spent like half a day setting up a sequence, and I'm like, man, I could have been spending this time like working on a YouTube video or just doing the stuff that has proven to be the most like successful thing, So I do completely understand that. Like you can spend a lot of time like trying to market stuff, trying to sell things, doing all promotions and everything, but really it all comes down to the quality of your content. That's going to be the main thing that's going to help you grow. So
100%.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The rest is just like maybe a little extra, but if it's like an extra 2%, I'll leave that on the table and I'll just focus on something else. Maybe it's not though. Like if you do it right, there's a lot of potential. Like I don't want to say that it's not, because email marketing is super powerful. But like you said, it's only powerful if you invest some serious time into it.
Right.
So it's like a
no, that's right. And there's only so many hours in the day. Maybe at one point, like, have you ever thought about getting a video editor, or do you just really like editing them?
First, I do love editing them, and I'm a control freak when it comes to that. I actually tried, a lot of editors.
Really?
But not a single video that's on my channel actually was edited by anybody else. I just tried out a bunch of editors, but it just never works. The only scenario where I think I could get an editor, which I'm actually working on right now, is I'm moving out of this. I'm trying to move out of this, get an extra like space. And then I want to hire an employee that just comes in 8 hours a day, works there. That's it, salary. And he just works there all day. That I could do. And then they can help me edit. They can help me like make sample packs and stuff like that. But we're working together in the same room or like, next to each other. So it's like, I can really I can almost like train him to do my style of editing and everything. But it's if it's from a distance and I send out the footage and then they edit it and then they send it back and then I send it back with notes and then we do that a couple times. It's like it takes longer. I might just fucking do it myself.
No, of course. I've experienced that a few times. Like I edit all my own videos, but then if I ever do, when I usually do like a vlog style video, like for example the Airbnb one that we did, if I've got like loads of footage, then usually I send that to. I had this girl just reach out on Instagram just saying that she watches the content, she's a video editor, she wants to try edit one of my videos, and I tried it. I thought, I'll give it a go because it might give me some spare time, which was actually really good. And then I thought, like that's going to be good to use for those times where I just might not have the time to edit them myself. I might be away for a few days, it could be anything. And I found it to be really helpful. And it's just been like, I could see myself eventually like maybe getting a full-time editor, because all that time I spend editing videos, even though I do kind of like it, and I'm a bit like you, like I've got like a certain way I like doing it. If someone else is taking that off you, it just gives you so much more time to like develop your own skills in like the stuff that you want to focus on more than anything else. Right. But there have been times where, for example, if I'm filming all weekend, like the footage is like 100 gigabyte, and then I'm trying to upload that to send to her, and it's like, shit, I've got to leave. I literally had to leave my laptop on just uploading like all night. So then I have to send it the next morning, and then she sends it back. The same thing as edits. And then sometimes, like you said, you could just put in those like 4 or 5 hours and just edit the video yourself.
Yeah. I mean, if you really find the right person, I think it's a great investment. In fact, it would be the first one I would do. Like if you can really find the right person, because that can help you like make more videos, grow faster, and like scale up the whole thing.
Of course.
But finding the right person, man, it's hard.
That's
it's
the tough
really
bit,
hard.
isn't it? Yeah. I guess I got kind of lucky with someone reaching out, but I think if she did it and I was like actively like trying to find someone, because you could put up a story on Instagram and you get like 1,000 people popping up who might not be like serious about editing, or you know, they might have just dabbled in a few things.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I tried, and I tried a lot of different people. Like I actually had them like answer a questionnaire, kind of like a job interview, sort of.
Right.
And then I just picked the best ones, and they were. The thing is that they're good editors. It's not that they were bad. It's just that it's so hard to like get your vision exactly across. And so it's like, you know, at some point you got to decide like how far you want to be like on it and how much you're like, okay, that's good. It's fine.
Definitely. Because as you're filming, you've probably got a vision in mind. Like I know exactly like what parts to cut out, like what to add, you know, what effects to add, like whatever it might be. But if you have an editor that hasn't seen you film that, they're just watching it like fresh for the first time and just don't have any idea. They'd have to watch it and then figure everything out. So it's definitely tough to like get that vision across.
Definitely.
So you think if you got someone full time, would they need to be a producer? Like, would it need to be someone that can do like everything that you do now? Or would it be more to do like the admin side of things?
No, the admin I actually have my wife Alyssa that does most of it, like emails, like responding to emails, or even like setting up like when we do an email, like she usually does the draft and I just kind of correct it or like fix it at the end a little bit. But she takes care of that. No, I would honestly want a person that is very young and wants to be sort of where I am or further up. And they just come to learn, which is what I did when I was in LA when I was doing that movie stuff. That's exactly what I did. I was working for this guy called Magnus Fines, which is like a big composer. He did like movies and stuff like that. And he had this like crazy ass house. I know it doesn't really matter, but dude, like Hollywood Hills.
It'll be inspiring to see though at that point.
Dude, I know. 20 grand a month in rent.
Damn.
It was this insane place. And he had me and another dude, pretty much the same age as me, each kind of same spot. And we were just in the room with him. So he taught us everything. Like not just everything about music production, but everything about everything. Like everything that he was doing, like he just taught us so much. And so that's kind of what I would like to have with another person kind of from the other side now, where they can get really like a real glimpse into the business. Like how does it work with sponsorships? How do I film my videos? How do I edit my videos? How do I make sample pack? Like everything. And they can help me with sort of everything and learn together. So that's kind of the ideal situation, but it's really tough to find the right person.
I bet. I suppose, you're right. Because that, like, if it's someone that's a bit younger, that's, you know, like maybe looking up to you, they're probably going to be more hungry for it. Whereas if you find someone like a bit older that is, I don't know, like maybe like once you get to a certain age, it's like you don't really want to listen to people as much, and you're just like, you know what, no, I could do this. Like, you know, I'm not trying to listen to him. I just want to do my own thing. But I guess younger people still have a lot to learn, so they'd be more like eager to work for you and or just work with you and like kind of build up together and learn from you.
Exactly. And that's exactly what you said. Like, I don't want it to just be somebody's, it's just like, oh, it's their job. They do it as quickly as they can, then they move on. I want them to like really be focused on it, which is what I did. And I know it helped me so much. So it's like, I know I can help other people too. Like, it's not, you know, and you get paid. So it's a job still. But
of course. But
at the same time, it's like you really get to see what you want to be or try to be or something like that. And you can really learn a lot from that.
I guess the only thing with that is maybe once they get to a certain point, though, they might want to just branch off and then do their own thing.
That's fine.
Like, you know, obviously that's fine. Yeah, it just means you'll have to find another young person and, you know, do the whole cycle again.
100%. But at the same time, I feel like you also like, I mean, if I imagine, for example, that I found a person, we grew together and stuff, and then 2 years later, he starts his own channel as he's working for me. And he's already in the video, so he gains a following. And now all of a sudden he's got 100,000 subscribers, and he's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I mean, that would make me just so happy that it's like this kid now has got his own fucking audience and career.
Yeah, it's awesome. Of course. It would feel rewarding, wouldn't it? That you've kind of helped someone get to that point.
Yeah. 100%.
Is that one message that you get from a lot of people? Do you get a lot of messages from people saying that you've inspired them, you've helped them like get to a certain point in their career?
Sure.
Like just anything like that?
Yeah. That definitely from the YouTube videos. And I think a lot of it's usually related to what you said earlier, like me being always like in a good vibe. And just being in a good mood and just, you know, spreading that positivity, I guess. I feel like people can relate to that, and like they, those are the most messages are about that, like how I help them with that. But also like the tutorials, like people, there's something about teaching on YouTube, which is a free platform, that I think it's kind of like good karma, because it's like you put this stuff out there and you teach everything, like there's no secrets. It's not like I'm holding the good stuff only if you pay for, like, it's like I'm just giving it all out. And that's what we're all doing, like all of us. And I think there's something really, really interesting about that, special for people, because, it's not something that you get in the real world. In the real world, you have to pay for everything.
Not everyone has the money to like buy an expensive course, or even like just move out and go to university. So to give people that for free, like people definitely do appreciate it.
Yeah,
like it's a crazy feeling.
I do think that courses are great, and same for like universities and stuff like that, or even like a private teacher, because on YouTube you can only do so much. Like, for example, if I wanted to do an in-depth guide to compressors, I couldn't do that on YouTube because the algorithm would just kill me. Like, nobody cares.
It's not your style of content either.
Yeah, it's not my style of content. It's not entertaining. It's boring shit. So it's like it would just kill you. So, for the more like technical, like in-depth stuff, I think that courses are still the way to go, because you can get people can go really boring in depth into stuff. But for everything else, YouTube is the best place.
Yeah, 100%. What would you say to someone that is thinking about starting a channel, or just thinking about starting to become a producer? Because a lot of people that have negative thoughts and they think that could never be me, it only happens to a certain type of person. What kind of advice would you give someone that's just starting out? I
would say start immediately, and because the first 100 videos, if you want to be a YouTuber, or first 100 beats, if you want to just do the producer thing, they're going to suck, and just be okay with that. Mine sucked too, even more than 100. So it's like, accept the fact that when you start, you're going to be not great, because it's normal. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, because they're like, I'm going to put myself out there and it's not good enough. It's like, it's supposed to be bad. You're just starting. It's going to be bad. Just accept that. But the sooner you start, the sooner you can get those 100 beats out of the way, and then you can start actually getting into the good part of it. But if you don't start, you never start building that like compound effect of everything you're doing. So it's just start as soon as possible. Whatever, with your phone, with terrible audio, with nothing, just do anything, and just get the bad stuff out of the way as quickly as you can, because it's going to happen no matter what. You can wait 10 years and your first 100 videos are still going to suck. Like, there's just no way around. So I guess that would be my advice. Just start.
No, I think that's a big key though, because a lot of people think that they have to wait for the right moment. Like, my beats need to be ready before I upload my first beat, or I need to become more confident on camera before I do a tutorial. And it's not the case at all, man. Like, I'm not natural on camera. Like, when I did my first tutorial, which wasn't even that long ago, I was like so nervous pulling out the camera and talking. I was like having to press stop and redo it so many times. But you kind of learn from your mistakes, don't you? And you see the advice that people are giving in the comments, and like you just learn certain things along the way, and you improve with the more you do it. So it's like the only way to get better at anything in life really is just to keep doing it. And I just tell that to people all the time, even though it sounds cliche, like, I'll just keep doing it, stay consistent. But really, that's it. Like, there's no secrets. Like, you can look at SEO tools, you can do certain things, you can pay for ads, but the only real way to grow in anything is to just keep doing what you're doing, and again, stay consistent with it, and just learn from your mistakes. Like, don't be afraid to fail. Like, nothing wrong with failing.
100%, dude. It's like going to the gym. You can't go to the gym one day and the next morning hope to wake up with a six-pack. That's not how it works.
Benching 200 kg the first time. And
exactly. You just got to go every day and see all the perfectly in shape people around you. Just keep doing it. And then eventually you get to a point where you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I'm kind of in shape too now. It just kind of happened, But it's like, I think that a lot of people have that mentality of like, I'm just going to start and then tomorrow's going to be great. But it's like, then you get let down. So,
Of course. Well, man, I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast, really. I think, people are going to learn from that. Hopefully it's inspired a few people. So, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for actually taking the time to come on the show, because I know you've been really busy recently.
Yeah, thank you, dude. Thank you for having me. This is a blast.
No problem at all, man. But yeah, just for anyone that hasn't got you on socials, just let everyone know where they can find you. And if there's anything that's being released soon, if you've got any drum kits, anything that you wanted to promote, then just let everyone know.
Just Ed Talenti. Just follow Ed Talenti wherever platform you use it. I'm going to be on there, hopefully. And you'll find all the new stuff that comes out as it comes out.
All right, perfect, man. Well, yeah, once again, thank you. We'll definitely keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure, dude.